Hey there, just want to address a common misconception that one-to-one is somehow better value than a group tuition program, and that we should somehow charge less for a child being on a group program than if they were working with you one-to-one. I get where this logic comes from. We think, well, surely one-to-one is like the bespoke, high-end version, and a group is like the poor cousin. I completely dispute that. We're not talking about throwing like 30 kids into a Zoom room like in the COVID days when we were just trying to struggle to teach and we didn't know what we were doing. It's nothing like that at all. I want you to think about how long a one-to-one tuition relationship can potentially last when you've got a child who really is struggling, and how that relationship with that student might become like one of dependency, and how actually far from becoming independent learners, they become quite dependent learners, and how every week you wonder, have they done the work that I've set them, or am I going to end up sitting there doing that with them and doing their school homework sometimes? And deep down, this is not really helping the child long term, and it's actually going to hit the parents' pockets harder, because quite often a long-standing one-to-one tuition relationship can just go on and on and on. If you're charging 30, 40, 50 quid an hour, fair enough. This can become in excess of £2,000 over the course of 2 years. So just imagine, when you actually look at that, are you really helping anybody? Wouldn't it be better to give them a structured group program where they can watch videos, which you've pre-recorded, so you're not repeating yourself a gazillion times? They can engage with others, and they're learning how to become more independent because they're having to watch materials, submit stuff in between, and they are seeing how other students are progressing. That can be really motivating. It can be much more fun, and they can always message you in between, and reach out for help and support in between, which is often quite a rare. You don't see that often in one-to-one, because the teacher, the tutor, they've given their time, they've slogged their guts out for an hour giving that session, and they are busy with all their other one-to-one students, so they're not going to really be there hand-holding between sessions. So that can really exacerbate the whole thing, because we all know that retention for students can be really, really tricky, and 7 days is a really long time. So that's another thing. Are we even counting the cost of missed retention, a lack of retention, because we're not touching base with them, they're not having the opportunity to really do much in between? So those are some of I'm not only scratching the surface there, but some of my reasons why I love group programs when they're really well thought out, really well structured, and why I believe one-to-one is not the best thing for most kids. And as a tutor, it's our job to articulate that to our potential clients, so we attract the right clients who can see that value and repel the ones who just think one-to-one is the only way. So I hope that's been helpful. More of that coming soon. Bye for now.